All right, welcome. Trying times for Nigerian constitution, trying time for the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. Trying time to know who obeys the constitution, the law, and everybody. Senator Ali Ndume from Borno State said what was signed into law is not what was passed from the National Assembly concerning the tax law that they are putting out. He's speaking out on the premise of the fact that the president signed into law what they did not pass. Now, who do we believe? How do we believe what we believe? Okay, let's start from here.
Okay, you just put it the best way possible. Who do we believe? And that's exactly what Senator Ali Ndume is saying. You don't build on a disputed ground. If you say this is a plot of land and is in dispute, you don't allow this one to start building
until it's settled.
Until it's settled. So who do we believe? That's exactly what you have said. The Senate state as a body said that's what it is, that what they passed was what was signed. The executive said no, what the Senate brought to them was what was signed. But some members of the National Assembly, who are the actual people that passed the law, said this is not what we passed. Senator Ndume is saying this. Senator Ndume is even going further to say that the chairman of the yes, he said that's not what they passed. So who do you believe? So what is the haste of trying to build on a disputed ground? And what they should understand is that even in the military, you have no option not to obey a lawful command. But unlawful command, there is no safe harbor for you to carry out unlawful command. You are to only obey a lawful order. You cannot hide under anything. There's no safe harbor for criminality. There's no safe harbor for crime. So under that, my Oga told me to. Your guy cannot tell you to go and murder somebody, and when you now get to the court, they ask you, why did you murder this person? You say, because my Oga asked me to do it. You already know that murder is a crime. You can only obey a lawful command. So if the law in quote they are having is an unlawful law, though there's nothing like that. So even all the officers that are going to use that book, that paper as it is, to collect tax and do anything under that, is illegal, and there might not be status of limitation as to when they can be tried, because future government can come and say no, this is not our law, we must get it right. We are not going to, even as much as we want to make changes to our tax law, this is not it. And they could try whoever that have used this illegality to subject Nigerians, into any kind of what they didn't expect. Because Nigerians expect the tax law that they will be taxed with to be the one that is passed by the National Assembly as is, without any kind of alteration, without any kind of debate. Let me tell you, the best thing the executive should do is to ensure that the dispute on the ground is resolved before they can continue with their building.
For me, I have issue. No, I have issue here with Ndume and people like Ndume are coming to public space to say what they want to say. Ndume is a senator. He's part of those that did this job, and they're claiming what they did was what was signed. What they're supposed to do? Is it coming to our national TV to tell us that what president signed is not what they passed? No. They have the right to recall it or even use an impeachment process. Coming to tell us, for me, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't change anything. Because we've been hearing them say it back and forth. And that group now will come and say what was signed, what was signed was what was passed. And as of today, we have different task laws flying all over the places. If a high-ranking somebody like Ndume in the Senate cannot push for it to be resolved, is it on national TV that it will be resolved? It has a place to record
it. You see, the Senate leadership are saying, I will use the word cover up.
Senate saying it's okay.
Senate leadership are saying it's okay. So Ndume coming to the public is in order. Ndume speaking out is in order. You might say, oh, he could take them to court.
But it's not enough.
He has a duty because he has a locus.
Yes.
He has a locus to take them to court. Do you understand? He, not only him, even the Dasuki that brought this to light at the House of Rep, all of them have the locus because they were part of the legislature.
Now you get where I'm going to. Come to speak is not enough.
There's nothing wrong in advocacy.
Hold on. You see, Ndume is first a citizen of Nigeria before he's a legislator.
Exactly.
So as a citizen of Nigeria, he has the power to air his views.
Yes,
that's one.
He can speak anywhere he wants.
Secondly, when he gets to the house, somebody is in command of the house. And we know from all of us know that the house has been gagged in one way or the other. Most of the senators have been gagged. And when you speak, they will tell you that they may just throw you out of the house. So he's safeguarding himself. One of the things he can do is to make sure that he speaks about it publicly. Look at what he said. He said even the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Tax Reform admitted there are different versions. My concern is not the discrepancy, but the secrecy. So the issue is that what is the rush for from the presidency?
Okay, now you see, you got me all wrong here. I don't have a problem with Ndume and co coming to tell us they have local standing to move forward, take this thing to court. He was part of those that passed what was not signed, what they signed, he didn't pass. He has a local standing. Coming to tell us this on national TV wouldn't change his
beyond that. In addition to that,
it wouldn't change anything. Go and fight for it.
No, it does change a lot of things.
Okay, in Nigeria.
One, yes, because Nigerians are more aware. No,
in today's Nigeria.
Yeah, no.
We can't do
Nigerians are more aware. If they never came to the public, Nigerians are not going to be aware. Nigerians are more aware that there is something called versions of tax law, which in itself is a shame. That we are talking about which version of tax law is a shame in itself. So such things should not happen. It's a forgery. Let me tell you. As a matter of fact, the most leniency this executive could have exercised was probably to say we didn't prosecute those that are involved in this kind of obstruction. And if they don't, future government can take it up. Where the future government cannot take it up is when you prosecute them, then you forgive them. If they have not been prosecuted and there is no status of limitation, future government can take them up. But to allow Nigerians to be singing a song of which version of tax law is a shame of itself.
Hold on. I like to take on the matters as from the executive point. Yeah. Number one, I don't know why they are in a hurry the way they are. Number two, there's something Ndume said. He said these things are being taken lightly, makes it seem the Nigerians are being taken for granted. That's number one. Number two, he said Nigerians are not against tax. He said the problem is the trust. Now trust is eroding. The federal government or the executive have just decided that they will do whatever they do, irrespective of who criticizes it, who is against it, who is for it, who is not for it. How did we get here? That's my question.
My question should be, how do we checkmate this? We're already here. We're already here. How did we checkmate these things? Ndume can take them to court because he was part of the people that did that attached to that was not signed. He could go to court and challenge it. See, this government does not care what you say. They do what they want to do. So we can't sit there and say in public, okay, since the first person, Sambo, the guy from Sokoto speak up, what has happened? Has it been months? So somebody should go to court. One of them should go to court and challenge it. They have the local standing. Understand this. They have the right. This is what we passed.
What of the ordinary citizens? What's that?
As for ordinary citizens, it's the same right. It's the same right, but you might not just go in a speculative manner. It's the same right. For any day you are taxed under this tax or you are penalized under this law, and you believe this law is not the one passed by National Assembly, you can go to court. At that time, you have a direct damage that you can present to the court. You understand? So, if before you go to court for them to remedy your damage, there must be a damage you are presenting to them for them to offer remedy. You understand? That's for you. But if you are for the Ndume that are passed this law, they can immediately go. Do you understand? Then civil law society can go. Do you understand? But you must have those versions at hand. If you don't have those two versions, you can't just go. You have to wait until you suffer a damage. Then you now subpoena. You have that time. You have the opportunity to subpoena for these records. And mind you, also have opportunity to call witnesses of these people who have said this is not the tax law that we passed. And at the end of the day, the essence of this tax law they claim was to revitalize the economy. I've not seen the intricacies of this tax law, but let me tell you, there's not much this tax law will do if it is not going to activate production. Now, there's not much it will do if the essence is to go to the people who are already impoverished to collect
and
from
impoverish them the more.
They collect. And also, if it is to tax the rich in absolute sense, if the rich are the few producers, they will pass the burden to the poor people again. So I'm yet to see what this tax will do. If investment incentive that will activate production and productivity in Nigeria is not first attended to, our infrastructures, why are they? Let me tell you, the money spent in talking about Kaduna, Lagos, Calabar, Coastal Highway, that is not going to activate any production even in the next 4 years. Why not start with the electricity that President himself promised during campaign?
If I don't give electricity, don't vote me.
Because do you know the productive sector that will be activated by just being sure that electricity is stable? Even the fabrication, a lot of things. Do you understand? What about internal road structure? Instead of doing the one that is not solving a problem already, the ones we have internal road structures that are already solving a problem
are in a horrible state.
The rail system, where are they? Even these little skeletal rail systems we have, how functional are they? So these are the infrastructure, basic one. Not to talk of ICT infrastructures that we're talking about. Do you know how many times your servers are not working? What is the level of investment that the government is doing to ensure that unemployment is reduced? When people work, you will find who to tax. What are you taxing? Is it an idle money? I don't know where this tax is directed. Apart from the little you might see in a VAT reallocation, where the state where these VATs are generated will now get more. That is the only way I've seen the effect, which is just more of reallocation or fairness, so that the states that generate more will get more.
And that one also has intent, knowing that some part of the country are generating more, like
Lagos, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, those.
So more money come to them. Yeah, but we also know the interest that lies there.
But also beyond that, looking at Nigeria as a whole, I'm yet to see where this tax is headed.
Peter, we had the petroleum, what's it called, the subsidy removed, and we never saw the money. If for to be that, maybe we saw it in a considerable extent, then you can now say that this tax will help to increase or speed up, what's it called, developmental stages of Nigerian different sector. Do you think the problem or the solution we need is this from this tax law?
Before I answer, you say we did not see the considerable contribution to subsidy removal. We did. Subsidy removal and float of naira raised our inflation.
Okay.
Hyperinflation. No, in negative. I know you're talking positive.
Exactly.
You raised hyperinflation. And again, I must digress a little bit. People, most times I listen to some commentaries complaining about Abuja workers asking for increment. See subsidy removal move costs from 10 to 1,000, and you want to increase the salary from 10 to 20. Who's the argument? You don't remain 80. So, see, taxing has never solved any economic problem. You cannot tax yourself out of poverty. That's just the truth. You have to build the infrastructure. You have to make the business environment friendly for people to come and invest. Where we have production, people, there will be more money in the system. People will pay tax. Company will get more. But you cannot tax a system that is dying. Because who are you taxing? You're not producing anything. But you know what we do is importation and recycle things. So taxing will not resolve this issue. But my stance remains as of today, it still remains that those in National Assembly that is against this thing, they should lead the fight from the front. They have local standing. They have what they passed and what was signed. They should go to court.
Okay, so will you say by this that the National Assembly has been captured?
Well, you wouldn't use the word captured because were they not captured from beginning? So the idea is the National Assembly, they don't measure the temperature of the people they are representing, the members there. If they really understand the level of poverty in their own constituency, even the richest constituency in Nigeria, measure it. If you know the level of poverty there, you will understand the kind of laws you'll be making. Let's not digress, but why is P2B still attractive to Nigerians? Because economy, lack of waste. Nigerians cannot eat what they don't have. Nigerians must start from a life pattern where you don't spend what you don't have, where your spending pattern matches what you have in your pocket. You know, look at the lifestyle of our government officials, our representatives. Look at the lifestyle. Look at how they must get vehicles, how they must get certain allowance, how they must get certain things. Meanwhile, the people you are representing, they don't have anything. They don't have jobs. They will end up coming back to you. That is why some of them are broke. You won't believe it. Some of them National Assembly members are broke because all their you need to see the list of the constituency members they are servicing every month because they are poor, and giving people money to feed it does nothing. You have to make them productive because they are capable. They should use their capability and intelligence to work and be productive and pay tax to the system. Feeding them and controlling them, they will surely you my leader. It will take us to nowhere. This National Assembly need to understand who they are representing. The people they are representing are grossly poor. Getting money from government and sharing for them is akin to simply increasing the salary of government workers. It does not much to the entire economy. It doesn't even improve their lives so much. If only what you have in the market is 10 bags of rice, and you increase the salary of all government workers who are not going to produce more rice. Meanwhile, they're only going to regulate. They don't produce physical things. They will carry the same money and come to this market and still chase that same 10 bag of rice. But if that money was used to buy farmland where you cannot grow more rice and ask farmers who are ready to farm rice to come and take free farmland, that's how government activate productivity. Buy tractors for them, then they will have more rice. Even with the little money the government workers are earning, when they come back to market, instead of the 10 macro bag of rice that we have, we would have had 100. There will be option. And what were we told? When there is supply, the price fall. And that's where the government should think at a macro level. And that's why you see people don't just support increment of government worker salary. Absolutely. You have to wait. Otherwise, it becomes an inflationary.
Because it's not a solution.
It's not an absolute solution to a macro economy. It might provide a solution at a micro for the individual, but it doesn't really.
On the long run,
it's just about
it pushes up inflation.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We will still be on this and making sure that we'll talk to these people, especially from what Peter said. Peter said those in the house should start the fight from the house. Nigerians are going to back them up. We'll be back on Landslide News.